name is Sanjib Nandi and I'm the founder of Luvo. It's a free health and wellness app and it's the only app which takes care of your overall health and wellness. The links are provided down, so click it today, download it and start living a happy, healthy and a successful life.
Luvo recommends optional breathing exercise before beginning your meditation. This is your meditation screen with a color based on your chakra level to attract positivity and success in your life. Download Luvo today and start experiencing happiness like never before.
Recently, I was speaking with a podcast host who told me that she works with people who have social anxiety or a dating anxiety. And the fear of meeting different people puts an enormous amount of pressure on them, which leads to fear and anxiety. And I thought this is such a great topic to discuss about, as fear is the number one reason which is stopping us from doing bigger things in our life. And it can be a 16-year-old kid or a 55-year-old woman. We all have fears engraved in our system. And my fear might be different from or your fear might be different from somebody else. But we all have fears. That is our reality. And there are different kind of fears, like fear of losing your loved ones, fear of losing your job, fear of ill health, fear of COVID, fear of heights, fear of dating, so on and so forth. But basically, what is fear? Fear is just an illusion. It is not a reality. Fear definitely works slowly, but progressively. When we foresee something negative in our life, we started thinking in a negative way and we think over and over again and cripples our life. And what does fear do? Fear leads to indecision and that leads to doubt, which eventually leads to anxiety. Fear paralyzes the neocortex or the prefrontal lobe, which is the CEO of the brain, the thinking and the reasoning part of the brain, which is this front part, and it hijacks the amygdala, the emotional part of the brain, which is the fight or the flight system. And when it hijacks the amygdala, it not only causes havoc in the mind, but also in the body. And when the fear center is controlled by the amygdala, it releases stress hormone in the body. As you're aware that this mind and body is not two separate entities, they are closely interwoven in what is called the mind-body connection. The mind and the body communicates through each other through chemical messengers, electrical and chemical signals and hormones. Researchers have also identified a direct neural pathway between the cerebral cortex, which is the thinking and reasoning part of the brain, to the adrenal medulla, which is the part of the adrenal gland which is located just above the kidneys, which releases stress hormone at the time of stressful situation. In short, the brain tells the body to release stressful hormone in stressful situation. And when the stressful hormone is released in the body, what does the body reacts? There is inflammation all over the body. And the body's self-defense mechanism releases the B lymphocytes and the T lymphocytes to deal with the chronic inflammation which is lingering in the body. And slowly and eventually what happens due to of the chronic pain, this body's immune system gets lower. Once this immune system gets lower, your self-defense mechanism is not working at 100% capacity. It means your blood pressure, your sugar level, your cholesterol, and you have different physical elements in the body. So you are different with multiple problems because of stress. Now assume that a deer is being chased by a coyote and the deer sees the danger and flees for his life. And if somehow the deer is able to navigate through this chase, 15 minutes later it will be grazing like nothing has happened. But we human beings rewind and replay the same situation over and over again in our mind. And we somehow is not able to move forward and see the better situation. We kind of cripples our own life. Now, as you know that we go through 60 to 70,000 thoughts per day, and 90% of these thoughts are the same as the day before, and most of these thoughts are negative. Now assume that if you are dealing with a negative situation or a difficult situation in your life, your state of mind becomes negative and it becomes harder to think beyond that negative situation, and you start living in a state of fear. Now, before I proceed further, let me explain how fear has originated in human beings, what is the hardware of fear, and how the software is installed in this body. When Homo sapiens were born, they were not the strongest, they were not the fastest, but still they are able to survive this planet. Why? Because of this amygdala. When our ancestors or the Homo sapiens sees danger, like a saber-jawed tiger or a lion or a dinosaurus or a bear, maybe some of them went near to them and they were eaten. Then they realized that we have two choices. Either we have to fight or we have to flee the situation. And through evolution, millions of years of evolution has given us this amygdala, which is the fight and the flight system. Now, in this present generation, we don't have any saber-jawed tiger or lion. We have fear of losing our job, we have fear of COVID, we have fear of losing our loved ones. So this fear is there and it is hard to remove this amygdala from this brain. It is going to stay there for millions and millions of years until evolution again changes this amygdala and shrinks the size of this amygdala. So now the problem is, how should we deal with this fearful situation, or how should we deal with this amygdala so that we become resilient? Because this amygdala is not going to get removed by any means in the near future. So amygdala is the main reason why we have fear. And that is the hardware which is installed in your brain. Now, when you are born, like 2 or 3 years, you don't have any fear. Kids only have fear of two things only: loud noise and falling. That is the only thing they fear. So how these fears are installed? This is installed through our software, through our parents, through our teachers, through our uncles and aunts. They tell us, oh, be fearful of this situation. Don't talk with strangers. Don't do this thing. Don't do anything which is adventurous. And by the age of 7, this software is installed in the hardware, which is the amygdala. And what happens by the time we reach 14 or 15, we have different fearful situation, like, because of the biological changes which is happening in the body. We are fearful of social anxiety. We are fearful of many things which we should not be fearful of. So these are the reasons why fear is there, how fear has been installed in a human being. And in the next episode, I will be talking about how fear changes the physiology in the body, because knowledge is power. If you know what fear is doing to us, how fear is installed, and what you can do to make it resilient, then it becomes easier to deal with fear. And fear is the main reason which is stopping us from doing bigger things in our life. So stay tuned for the second episode. Download my free app from Google and App Play Store and start living your best life.
Introducing Luvo. Reach a calmer and happier you with our meditation audios. Keep track of your health with the Exercise tab. Monitor your heart rate, water intake, and mood checks. Never worry about a bad night's sleep with the Sleep Tracker. Access these features and more with the smartwatch. Download our free app and start living your best life.